Hey guys, well, it's time for the 6-month review. Honeymoon's over. The reality is there. All the newness of first-time stuff is mostly. I've just about done everything except for I haven't gone through the mountains in snow yet because it's August. So overall, I'd still give it a 4 out of 5. I don't think in trucking you can ever get a 5 out of 5 because let me tell you folks, the logistics in this industry, it is amazing. It's amazing. Anything ever makes it where it's supposed to be with all the human intervention that has to take place. I'd say the biggest thing I learned was, and I'm doing this a lot because my brother passed away. He was a truck driver. The opportunity came up, so I'm experiencing, and I'm thinking, how he reacted. How did he deal with this? Like right now, I'm at Whirlpool up in the northwest corner of Ohio. They didn't have an empty for me to pick up. I'm sorry, they didn't have a load for me to pick up because they didn't have an empty to load it. So they needed my empty. So they're loading it, and I'm sitting over here waiting, and that wasn't part of the plan. But as in trucking, part of the plan changes by the minute, and you have to accept that. I'll tell you, the best advice I can give anybody coming into trucking is you better have a good attitude. And if you don't have a good attitude, you better find one, because if you come into this industry with a bad attitude, it's only going to be worse, because you have got to understand that you're just one of the parts of the wheel. You're not the most important part of the wheel, and you're not the least important part of the wheel. Everybody that's part of that wheel is important, from the account manager to the planner to the DM to safety to the shop to the truck stops that you have to deal with to the shipper, the receiver. Everybody's got a part to play, and you got to play together. There's a lot of attitudes out here, and I don't know why that is. I think the low percentage of truckers that have not been professional may have played a part in it, because I've seen signs on a shipper's window. You'd think that they were talking to elementary school kids. Things like, don't write on the walls, don't lean on the counter, don't talk on your phone when you're at the window. All this has to be put on a sign and put out. It's embarrassing. So no matter how professional you are, you're walking into a shipper or receiver's perception of what they think of a trucker. So the best thing you can do is stay above it, try not to play, and lower yourself down to that level of attitude. And just deal with it, move on, and enjoy what you can enjoy about it. I've been really challenged this last week, one thing after another. A planner took a load off of me that shouldn't have, because he didn't think I'd have enough time to get it to where it needed to be, and yet the truck that took the load from me didn't bring me an empty, so they caused me to have to go out and find an empty, plus I lost that load. Then I go to the next load, and the load's not there, so they gave it to somebody else because the market's soft, and there's some companies out there underbid, and they didn't tell Knight. So Knight didn't know that the load was already picked up. I found that out when I went to pick the load up. And, it's very often that things don't run that smooth. And, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So all you can do is you can either complain about it and moan and groan about it, but it doesn't make it better. The best thing you can do is try to communicate with the people, like your DM, the terminal manager. If you're going to be late and you have an appointment, you let the DM know. If you can't get a hold of DM, try to call the shipper or the receiver and let them know. I mean, communication is a big part of what the problem is. There's just so many human interventions, and we all humans are making mistakes. A lot of stuff falls through the cracks. So I'd say my biggest revelation and that I've learned in 6 months is that you got to have a good attitude, because without a good attitude, that's the only thing you can control. That's the only thing you can control is a good attitude. And it was rough for me to have a good attitude with all the stuff that I went through this week. It really was a challenge. I mean, it was a challenge. But things are starting to get a little bit back to normal, and the market's starting to pick up. So, when the miles are good and things are running fairly smooth, it's a fun time to be in trucking. And when it's not, it's frustrating because you're not home. You're out here stuck somewhere, and it's just it just kind of wears on you. And when it happens, when an inconvenience happens over and then another one and another one and another one, it's just not easy to deal with. So, and like right now, where's my headset? You guys remember the headset I had on? Well, that was in the other truck. I had to switch out trucks last minute at a moment's notice. It took me an hour and a half, and I missed a lot of stuff that I forgot. So I'm hoping to go back a week later now through Atlanta to pick up the rest of my stuff. And that's been a big inconvenience of not having some of my stuff. I'm still getting situated. Granted, I'm in a nice truck. I'm in a 2019 International LT. It's a very nice truck. But I wasn't prepared to 7 o'clock at night switch trucks and get out and go. It was, at the end of the day, my truck's still in the shop, so it's probably good that this happened. But I didn't like the way it happened. But what are you going to do? You get over it. You move on. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I can say is Knight Transportation, they have their problems, like any other industry has their problems. They do try to make it right when there is a problem that they've caused. There's a lot of things that happen that are not their fault. But when it is their fault, in my opinion, for me personally, I'm sharing you my experiences, they've made it right for me. So I think that's important for anybody that's looking to go to Knight to know that they do. Now, I was told when I came into this, Knight Transportation is a good place to start, and I could see that. My goal is I want to do at least the first full year to go through all 4 seasons, and then I'll kind of see how things are going. I'm fine with what's going on for the most part. But, as long as they continue to treat me the way that I would expect to be treated, then I think we'll continue to work together. So that's my review. I hope you guys are doing well. I haven't really got a setup for good video while I'm on the road, so I don't have much to share with you right now. I'm still trying to get situated. So I'll keep you guys posted, but that's just a quick recap on the last 6 months. If you have any questions, send me some comments, and I'll be happy to answer you. And you guys take care.